Sports betting brother, and hey, bring it up. And thanks for stopping by here of day three of the picks study that we're doing here at Sports Bet University. And what we do is we are covering all the betting analytics tools to help beginner and struggling sports bettors learn how to bet like a sharp. And what we do is we're covering the market analytics tools that we use, such as the Oddsjam and the Wolfline, as well as we're going to talk about and expose the selections for the computer-generated simulations, the computer picks that come out. People are paying for services. Those we're giving you the 4 and the 5-star picks that those companies are putting out. And what's interesting is we have the paid selections of the top 20, 25, in some cases 30. It kind of ranges when they go up and down. Handicapping services, not the free clickbait stuff, but the actual selections, the 7-unit, the game of the year, the game of the month, and all those things. We're going to give you all those picks each day for the next 30 days, and we're going to do a little study on what's the most efficient and what works best. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting. So here we go, day 3. Get all your information right. All right, guys, we're going to get started with the Oddsjam picks of the day. And what I'm going to be doing is using Oddsjam on a basis of getting a lot more selection, because this tool is mathematically profitability driven in that its best use is to identify the targets, and they happen very quickly. So I'm going to kind of use this tool the way it should be used, in that I'll be adding selections throughout the course of the day. That way you get a sense for how you can use it as well. The first one we're going to target here is the player rebounds and the player prop. The reasoning is we see the Oddsjam perfect line here at minus 136, where you can pick that up at DraftKings for minus 105. So what I'm going to do is go up there and add that to the bet tracker and put that one in. So that'll be the first selection of the day. You can actually just add it here by hitting this button. We'll go up to the DraftKings, and again, we're going to play the over, and we'll put in $100, and then we'll save that. So this is a nice way to keep track of everything as you go, and that'll be the first one of the day. So we're going to go ahead and add, actually, in the second selection here is player assist with Jimmy Butler over 5.5. Again, the Oddsjam perfect line, minus 120. Get a nice 25-cent edge here at DraftKings at plus 105. So we're going to go ahead and add that one too. Again, you just hit the plus button, and that'll be on the over. Again, put in say $100. Going to keep a nice bet tracker on this, and we'll place that, save that. And that'll be the second selection so far. We'll be adding probably about 8 to 10 per day. Again, we'll get more into the tools and how you can use the various calculators and things to assess how much you might want to put on each wager. But what we're going to do is just kind of continue to target these top values as we scroll through here on the positive EV page of Oddsjam. Don't forget, you can get to Oddsjam and get a free trial basis, so make sure you do that to utilize and drive this Ferrari before you join on. But it's a mathematically profitable endeavor as you get into understanding the size totals and where you want to be or where you don't want to be. Hey guys, we're on the Oddsjam selections for today, and what I've done is, again, I identified a game here for today with about a 3% I guess edge that we're looking at here on a positive EV set that is total points over 207.5 in the Detroit-Philadelphia game. You can get that at plus 100 at Fox Bet. So again, the Oddsjam perfect line has us at a minus 112. We like that edge. We like that piece. So we're going to go ahead and add this 207.5. And you can see you go to the bet tracker. It helps you keep track of your bet sportsbook location. There's the game itself, and then we're going to say put in 100 on that. Oops. And this will add it to our bet tracker for another game today that we'll put in with the Oddsjam betting tool. All right, guys, we're going to add another game here to the oddsjam.com play today. And again, we're using this tool to find value. And as we went to the betting tools, go to the positive EV page where it shows today's games and some areas that we want to take a look at with some advantages here percentage-wise. And I think one that we're going to go ahead and actually we did pull the trigger on is we scroll down here. Some little action for the football game tonight with the Colts and Jets. And I think what we're going to do, if I can find it here, we have the Jonathan Taylor yards rushing over 84, I believe. There it is. Okay. Nope, that's not it. I apologize. It's right here. And as I mentioned earlier, there it is. Total rushing yards, Jonathan Taylor over 84.5. You can see here it's a 7.1% edge. So what we did is we went ahead and added that You get that at Caesars at minus 110. The Oddsjam perfect line is at minus 150. So nice little plus there. We've also pulled up and seen some Taylor's rushing yards have been around 107, 145, the 70, the bad game at 53. Of course, that seems to be kind of an outlier, and then 103. So seemingly you would think that with the Colts trying to either hold the lead or certainly control the run game tonight, the 84 yards against the Jets defense should be pretty plausible. So we went ahead and added that, and you can see here you put that on the bet tracker, which we already did. So I'll cancel that, and I'll show you where we did that. Up here at the bet tracker, we have today's games, and I'll pull those up for you. And you can see here we have 4 games going today. We have Jonathan Taylor over 84.5. We have over 207.5 for the Pistons Detroit game. And again, these are the locations where we found these bets at Caesars, Fox Bet, and 2 at DraftKings. Also $100 with Jimmy Butler over 5.5 assists, and Bam with over 10.5 rebounds in the Heat Celtics game. So those are the 4 plays today that we're going with Oddsjam, and we'll be grading those, of course, and back tomorrow with more. Hope you enjoy this, and get over to oddsjam.com, get the free trial to use this tool, test it out, test drive this Ferrari, and we'll be using this a lot more in the future as far as a lot more games throughout the course of the day, and we'll talk to you soon more tomorrow. Okay, guys, on to the Wolfline Quantitative Analytics app. Basically, this is the only quantitative analytics tool. Certainly, the Oddsjam is a markets tool that we categorize with it, but this is the only application or site that gives you the quantitative data in a significant, highly significant, or extremely significant basis. And so it makes it to where you can, Candyland color-coded system, identify the extremely and the highly extremely areas that would give you sort of targets. And you can divide this up into the various sports. You can set up various screeners. You can, do certain amount of point spreads, totals, whatever you want in your screener systems. And then your paper trades are ones you can do some practice on. So certainly, just like if you got Think or Swim, you wanted to practice a little bit before you played with real bullets and real money over at TD Ameritrade, you could do that. So this is a tool that's pretty cool. And what we'll do is we'll just go through the dates here. Quickly scrolling through here, I found a game I wanted to target here and just take a look at to show you. So when you come onto the game here, lots of color here on the total of this particular game with the Pistons and Philadelphia. So we're going to click on that, and it's going to open up the chart. So this is the spreads chart. You can see a lot of variance here, a lot of points, data points. Uptick is a win against the spread. A downtick is a loss against the spread. So shows you that there's something to consider here. Is the green team here in this case? I guess I'm trying to get it to scroll down here, but would you potentially see, a fallback here and then an uptick here on the ATS? Don't know, but that's something you'd play the home team in that case, it's the Pistons +5, but we're going to check out this totals chart. And the reason why we're looking at this is you see a lot of downward trending here. And anytime you have the dog potentially covering, like we saw in the ATS, could mean that there's a little higher scoring game here and a potential for a bounce back on the total on the over side, which is giving us these indicators, significant, highly significant. So we're going to go ahead and put this in as a trade, and let's say we put in 10,000 on the over. And we're at over 208 on Detroit, Philadelphia today. We'll save that. And again, you can use that as the first selection today. We'll see if we can find another one or two just to include in our study today. Okay, guys, second game here that we're seeing some color on, kind of interesting things. We're going to click on this chart here at the Wolfline, and as it opens up, again, this is the spread chart. If you want to look at the money line chart, you click on that, but we're going to take a look at the charts here, showing a highly significant with 2 oranges and a yellow here on the away team, which is Boston at +6. So as we scroll down here, again, what you can see is on the charts here, uptick is for an ATS cover. You can see that Miami's just been on fire, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row ATS covers. Will Boston have another uptick here, or will the momentum of Miami keep going? So that's just kind of your decision and your choice. But this is saying that potentially this asset of the Miami Heat could be overbought, and it might be a good time to go, against that. So, I don't know. I don't want to really catch a falling knife. I mean, Miami's obviously been playing really well. Boston has not. So I probably would hold off on this particular game, but that shows you how you can sort of read the charts to see if this is potentially ready for, a downtick. And then, the testing here at the bottom would be ready for an uptick. So I'm actually going to hold off on this particular game, but I wanted to show it to you because I thought it was pretty interesting. Okay, guys, here's the third game we're going to go ahead and take a look at. We'll pull up the charts and the graphs, and I want to talk about the markets. And certainly NFL is the most efficient market, period. And so you want to take this into consideration when you see the market movement. In that, certainly Eastern Washington and Idaho State's going to be a completely different market than your Lakers and Bulls games. So keep that in mind as you look at these markets and how they can potentially move and kind of what's moving them. But here's a chart on the ATS with the Dallas Stars and Calgary Flames. Got a lot of color. That's supposed to be a good thing, right? So let's take a look at what's going on here. And as we scroll down, you can see here Dallas Stars just been falling off. Is it time to buy them at a low point? I think so. Again, tough to tell, but that's something that these charts are kind of showing you is that, it's indicators here at the UA team who's actually the Dallas Stars. It's got a lot of highly indicating, spots that this is a good sign, a good reason. So that's something that we'll go ahead and take a look at on the spread. Now that's plus 1.5. So it's kind of minus 196. It's not really something that I want to play. I really don't want to risk, minus 196 on a struggling team that's, doing that. So that you got to consider the price. But then again, it's how you use these charts, it's how you use this tool. And again, get over there for a free trial. Again, you're going to make the call on all these trades. And this is just a tool, quantitative analytics tool with all the sports that you can take a look at. So you can also, lastly, is go into the more liquid markets, the less liquid markets, and also the correction trading versus momentum. So if you want to, say, follow more of the momentum piece, you can. And where this other section of, charts, we were doing more of a correction trading. So you're trying to buy low, sell high. So you can use this tool in many different ways. And again, so today's, we'll just have the one play going here, and that'll be on the over the Detroit 208 in the NBA. Okay, guys, now that we move through the Oddsjam market tool and the Wolfline quantitative analytics app as far as the market tools, going to get into the computer simulated picks, and this is where we come into Action Network. Action Network has their pro reports, their pro product, it's a paid product, and we're going to expose those picks to you, to their top picks. And yesterday, they did have the Kent State minus 3.5 as a winner. So far, they have 2 wins, 0 losses. Last 2 days of study, and today we've got a couple of picks. First one is the under, as it's grading about a B+. I realize it's kind of hard to see, but under 5.5 in the Boston-Detroit NHL game. So that is the pick for Action's Pro Projections Report. Coming up next is their systems. So their systems report is next, and the systems is basically their computer models that will spit out the data upon results for different things that have happened. Yesterday, we posted a pick on the Air Force Army under 37 for this Saturday's game. Very, very high rate. Now, this one actually has about almost 80 unit, increase in bets, and they got 2 games that qualify for that this weekend. That'd be the Virginia Tech minus 3, and also Indiana at plus 19. So we're going to be adding those games, and so far there's 3 that have a 0 year-to-date wins and losses because we just have the systems so far for the college football, although we do have a systems play tomorrow in the NFL, and we'll be posting that tomorrow's report, so make sure you stick around for that. So moving on to BetQL, in the last couple of days we first started this BetQL, we didn't have any selections because we just have the college and NFL package of picks, so we didn't have any. So we have a 5-star selection on 5 games, and it's really interesting how they do this. Take note, their best bets would be Missouri and a 5-star pick, Georgia Southern with the points, 5-star pick, Duke, same thing, Wyoming, New Mexico State, and also Kansas. I didn't highlight that one, but Kansas. But if you look, interestingly enough, you go across the way here, the sharp bets are a little bit opposite. Georgia, Coastal Carolina, Duke, so they're the same on that one. Colorado State, go Rams, different on that one. And then they also have Utah State, different on that one. And the same pick looks like with Kansas at home against the Kansas State Wildcats. So interesting how they just magically have very, very similar, same top 5 on best bets and sharps. And what I'm saying is last week, very similar. So we're finding some patterns and trends in how they treat this product. And so again, my point is, why are you considering paying for a service and then using a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star? Aren't you going to play the 5-star bets and maybe even consider a 4-star here and there? But it's going to be interesting to track this as we go. So we can also release the NFL 5-star bets with BetQL. They, interestingly enough, have the same games in the NFL. Interesting. Best bets. Broncos plus 10. Panthers plus 3.5. Well, now we hedge it a little bit here and have the Cowboys under the sharp 5-star sharp at minus 10, and the Panthers at plus 3.5. So seemingly, what if you read between the tea leaves here, it looks like they're most happy with the Panthers plus 3.5 versus the Patriots, which would be very much of a contrarian home dog, and seemingly a low mysterious line. But that'll be an interesting game to follow. It wouldn't surprise me if that Panthers game hit, just kind of knowing how this seems to be structured and how they're doing this. So again, find it very, very peculiar. All right, more computer simulated companies and paid services. And once again, we're getting the 4-star picks out to you, so we're not wasting time with the 3s, the 2s, and the 1s, but we're tracking and tracing these. Yesterday's pick, Philadelphia minus 2, that actually won. Charlotte plus 6, that lost against Golden State. So right now, the AccuStar 4-star picks sit at 2 wins and 3 losses. Today they have a pick of the Utah Jazz minus 1.5. That's again their 4-star pick in the NBA, and so we'll be tracking and tracing that one. On to the NBA game sim, and I've been saying tracking and tracing a lot, so I'll stop that shit. Yesterday's picks, winner chicken dinner with Memphis minus 1, and they had a push on the San Antonio Spurs game. Today I see one pretty interesting that standing out, the Miami Heat by 6.5 is the line at home versus Boston. The simulation they have here shows that a final score of 120 to 100, and an average, a very high percentage of games in the simulation that covered by about 19 points. So this looks to be a potential blowout situation. So it's going to be really interesting to follow. They do have 3 wins and 0 losses with 1 push so far. So this one seems to be doing pretty well, and we'll keep our eyes on it. GameSim does have the totals, and I looked over a couple for you today. Not too much that's standing out. We do have maybe 1 over and 1 under. The over would be in the Boston-Miami game of 214.5. Again, they have the simulation here of a final score of about 120 to 100. That's about a 6-point variance to the over. As you can see my notes here, as I quickly go through these games. And then about a 5 to 6 point variance on the under 218 in the Suns Houston game. 2 high-paced teams with Houston and Phoenix, but that's typically where you might find some value in the under when the public is typically on the over, assuming a back-and-forth high-paced game. And we did hit the Houston Lakers with Oddsjam on the over a couple of nights ago, but this is indicating a good opportunity for a possible over. So we're going to put those 2 plays out today. They are at 1 win, 2 losses on their totals. So right now their sides are doing a little bit better, but we'll, again, keep tracking. And here's where it gets kind of interesting, the capping services. And again, to review and let you know if you've just started to kind of join us and follow along, this is day 3 of the capping services or capping methods pick study. So I'm tracking and tracing the top 20 to 25. Actually, there's more than 25, but I try to find the top 5 cappers of the day and their records, and then post their paid selections. This is not the free clickbait picks that you get and everyone gets. These are the actual selections they send to their customers, their clients that are hard-earned money. And we have a code here for the cappers so that we can track them as opposed to giving away their names outright. But for example, the very first game, this particular person, capper, had 7 units on the Astros game. They lost it. And so right now they're 0-1, but they're minus 7 units. And so you can see here, we're keeping the win-loss record, but we're also keeping the units. And we'll have the 5 cappers selections, the paid selections that are out there on the market, and revealing and exposing those next. All right, guys, and on to today's capping service plays. It was a little bit slim pickings today for some reason. Not a lot of volume, not a lot of, I guess, true cappers units going out today, but I'll give you what we have. So capper PWS, 2 units, Jets, Colts over 45.5. Same capper, 2 units, UL Lafayette, Louisiana Lafayette, minus 12.5. And 2 units on Lafayette, Georgia State, over 53. So that capper's got quite a bit of action going on with their particular clients today. So we'll see how that turns out. Capper RCS, 2 units, Jets, plus 11. and capper AJS 2 units, University of Louisiana Lafayette minus 12.5 as well. So again, slim pickings today. I expect a lot more volume tomorrow. But again, this is what we do. We do the study, do the report, and we will track this all and go from there. All right, guys, once again, thanks for the viewership. I hope you like, share. Please leave us a message below and love to hear back on some input and feedback from you and your perspective. Want to invite you over to sportsbetuniversity.com for your free video where I put together kind of a 15-minute video just to set the expectations on what it takes time-wise, expense-wise, cost-wise, just all the information you might need as a beginner and struggling sports bettor. Hopefully that's very helpful information so you can kind of get that information put together. And we have a lot more tools and resources we'll be sending out to all of our folks. So again, thanks for your viewership. We'll be here tomorrow exposing all the picks, all the selections, and keeping track of this so you can start to kind of hone in on the tools and the resources that seem to work for you. Hope you find this interesting.